I walked into the upscale restaurant downtown. The kind with dim lighting and white tablecloths that make everyone feel important. It was my girlfriend's birthday, and I booked a table for 8 her closest friends, a couple of coworkers. And me, I've been planning this for weeks, even splurged on a private corner booth. Sarah looked stunning in her red dress, smiling as we settled in and ordered appetizers. The waiter brought the wine list and I glanced over it casually. That's when Vanessa spoke up. Vanessa was Sarah's old college roommate, the one who'd always acted like she was a step above everyone else. She leaned back in her chair, flipping her hair, and eyed me with that familiar smirk. "Oh honey," she said, loud enough for the whole table to hear. "You really think you can afford anything on that list? Stick to the house right before you embarrass yourself." The table went quiet for a beat. A couple of the girls chuckled nervously. But Sarah shot Vanessa a look. I felt the heat rise in my face, but I just smiled politely and handed the list back to the waiter. "We'll start with the Cabernet from Napa, the 2018 vintage," I said calmly. Vanessa rolled her eyes and muttered something about pretending. The appetizers arrived and conversation picked up again. Vanessa kept dropping little digs about my car, my job at the tech firm, how I was punching above my weight with Sarah. Each one landed like a jab and the others laughed along, probably to avoid her turning on them. Sarah squeezed my hand under the table, whispering that Vanessa was just jealous. But I could see it bothered her to. Then came the main courses. The waiter placed a beautiful filet mignon in front of me, and Vanessa leaned over inspecting it. Like she was some food critic. "Cute," she said, loud and clear. "Ordering the most expensive thing to impress us? We all know you're just a mid-level coder scraping by. Sarah deserves someone who doesn't have to fake it." She laughed, that sharp, mocking laugh. And a few at the table joined in this time. Sarah's face flushed red. "Vanessa, stop," she said, firmly. But Vanessa waved her off. "Relax, I'm just teasing. He knows I'm right." The words hung there. I set my fork down, looked Vanessa straight in the eye, and said nothing at first. Instead, I pulled out my phone, opened an app and tapped a few times. The table watched, confused. Vanessa smirked wider. "Calling your mom for allowance money?" I didn't respond. Seconds later, my phone buzzed with a confirmation notification. I turned the screen toward the table so everyone could see. It was a bank alert. A wire transfer of $450,000 had just cleared into my account. Labeled acquisition bonus, approved. The laughter died instantly. Vanessa's smirk faltered. I slid the phone back into my pocket and picked up my knife. "Actually," I said quietly, cutting into the steak, "the company I work for was just acquired this morning. My stock options vested at closing. But thanks for the concern." Sarah's eyes widened as she stared at me. The others shifted in their seats, glancing between us. Vanessa opened her mouth and closed it, her face turning pale. The waiter returned, right then with the dessert menu. But the mood had shifted completely. One of Sarah's friends, Mia, broke the silence. "Wait, you sold the company? Like your company?" I nodded. "Co-founder. We built it from a garage 5 years ago. Deal closed at noon today." Vanessa tried to laugh it off. "Oh, come on, that's nice bonus, I guess." Still doesn't change. Her phone buzzed on the table. Then again and again, she picked it up, frowning. Messages were flooding in group chats, emails. Her face drained of color as she scrolled. Sarah leaned over to look. "What is it?" Vanessa didn't answer at first. Then, in a small voice, "HR just emailed. They're letting me go, effective." Immediately, the table froze. Vanessa worked as a senior marketing manager at a big firm downtown, the job she always bragged about. How she was on track for VP. How her bonus last year was life-changing. She tapped frantically at her phone, dialing a number. It went straight to voicemail. I took a sip of the Cabernet. "Funny thing," I said evenly, "the acquiring company, they brought in their own marketing team. Turns out they reviewed personnel files during due diligence. Yours flagged for multiple harassment complaints from junior staff. They decided to clean house on day one." Vanessa stared at me. You knew about this?" I shrugged. "I saw the list this afternoon. Your name was on it." The truth hit the table like ice water. The complaints weren't new. Vanessa had a reputation for belittling subordinates, making cutting remarks in meetings. The kind of behavior that gets whispered about but rarely reported. Until someone with power looks closely. The new owners weren't taking chances. Sarah's friend Mia spoke up again. "Vanessa, those complaints, were they real?" Vanessa's hands shook as she set her phone down. "It's office politics. People are sensitive these days. I was just pushing them to do better." But no one bought it. The same people who'd laughed at her jokes minutes ago now avoided her eyes. The waiter hovered awkwardly, sensing the tension. "Vanessa, tried one last time, Sarah. Come on, we've been friends forever. Tell him this is ridiculous." Sarah looked at her for a long moment, then at me. "You humiliated my boyfriend in front of everyone. For years you've put people down to feel bigger. Maybe this is exactly what you needed. Vanessa stood abruptly, chair scraping loud against the floor. Fine, enjoy your little moment. She grabbed her purse and stormed toward the exit, heels clicking fast. But as she reached the hostess stand, two men in suits were awaiting HR representatives from her company, there to collect her laptop bag and badge. She'd been instructed to leave any company property at the restaurant if she was out celebrating. They escorted her out quietly, professionally. The table sat in stunned silence. I signaled the waiter for the check. When it came, I handed over my card without looking. The total was over $2,000, but it didn't matter anymore. Sarah turned to me as the others started gathering their things. Why didn't you tell me about the sale? I smiled, wanted it to be a surprise, but some surprises come a little faster than planned. We left the restaurant together, the group quieter now, conversation subdued. No one mentioned Vanessa again that night. 2 days later, Sarah got a text from Mia. Vanessa had been blacklisted from most major firms in the city after the complaints went public in an internal memo that somehow leaked. She was moving back in with her parents upstate, job hunting in a much smaller market. I never heard from her directly. No apology, no explanation, just silence. And when Sarah asked if I felt bad about how it went down, I thought about that laugh. That one cruel line at the table. No, I said. She made her choices. We didn't accept her friend request when she tried adding Sarah back 6 months later. Some lines you cross, you don't get to walk back.